Maritime Made is brought to you by Invest Nova Scotia. Experience and expertise strengthening your business.
Knoydart Farm is the only grass-fed certified organic dairy farm east of Quebec. The family-run farm along the Northumberland Strait has been making and selling cheese, milk, and cream from their location in Knoydart, Nova Scotia since 2009. They're finding a lot of success.
My wife is a dairy farmer's daughter. I hoped to inherit 40 cows and a dairy farm in the UK, but that didn't work when I married. And so we emigrated to Canada in '78 with the possibility of purchasing land and farming here. Initially worked for Devco and Cape Breton Lamb Limited. We then purchased a small dairy farm in Mabu in 1990 and moved up here in 1998. At the end of the day, we want an economically sustainable and environmentally sustainable operation. Thinking of this, so we've got to make money, we've got to make a living, but still being environmentally sustainable. We add value. Our aim is to add value to the product we produce. We produce a commodity, raw milk, and we add value to it. Because without adding value, we're in commodity business, and that isn't sustainable.
Today, they're making whole milk and cheese curds. The day starts at 4 a.m. with their 70 Holstein and Jersey free-range cows getting milked. 10 at a time come into the herringbone parlor. Standing on an angle, each cow has disinfectant applied to their teats. Apart from ensuring they're clean, this stimulates the cow's hormones to release milk once clusters get attached. Milk is pumped through hoses into a pipe, taking it to a stainless steel storage tank where it's kept at 4 degrees Celsius. Each cow is disinfected again before returning to the barn. They need milking twice a day. Some of the milk is taken to their cheese-making facility, where it's pumped into the raw milk room holding tank. Then hoses are attached and it's pumped to the pasteurizer in the next room. The pasteurizer can hold 800 liters. Here, the temperature is increased to 146 degrees. A time temperature chart is kept as a record of pasteurization. It takes 2 hours to reach temperature, and then it's held for 30 minutes. Next, it needs to be cooled down to 32 degrees Celsius, so the pump on the cooling system is turned on. As the milk flows through the cooling system, it's then held in the vat tank where the cheese will be made. When it's at the right temperature and volume, 250 liters today, the cooling system is disconnected. Now, bacteria is added. This is the start of the cheese-making process. The vat tank is closed up for 1 hour as it's constantly stirred. Now 500 liters of pasteurized whole milk is bottled. The pump is turned on, taking milk past a plate with cold water, cooling it down on the way to a churn. This fills 2 coolers operated by compressed air, and then these fill milk jugs manually placed on the conveyor belt. The milk goes from 70 degrees to 4 degrees in this process. The level of milk is checked before a cap is placed on. If adjustments are needed, a pitcher is used. The milk jugs are cleaned and moved into cold storage. Today, 220 jugs will be filled. The labels will be added later. All production materials are cleaned with a chlorine sanitizer. Orders are taken, and a record of today's production is made.
The dairy industry, we have roughly 200 dairy farms spread from Yarmouth to Portmorion, right across the province, so it's a province-wide industry. Those 20,000 cows produce 500,000 litres of milk daily. That at the farm gate is worth about $450,000. By the time you add value to that, that whole product is worth about $1 million per day. Well, we use about 20% of the milk we produce, and that ends up producing 7 tons of cheese per year. We also do fluid milk, probably 600 litres a week goes into fluid milk. So it's small, but at the end of the day, we're producing a product for a market with a margin. We enjoy what we're doing. If you don't enjoy doing it, don't do it.
Now, calcium chloride is added to a graduated cylinder. This is added to 2 liters of warm water and poured into the cheese vat. Then, coagulated rennet is added to warm water and poured in too. This forms the curds. The paddles are removed and it's left alone for 45 minutes. A hose attached to the double wall of the cheese vat is filled with hot water to cook the curds while they are cut. A knife is used to see if they're ready by making a nice clean cut. The curd knives are inserted. These spin, cutting the coagulated cheese curds. Everything is moved into the middle. They're cooked until reaching 39 degrees. The curds are stirred again and large pieces are reduced manually. As they cook, they shrink and release the whey. The heat is unplugged and paddles are removed. The lid is placed back on to continue holding heat for 2 hours. A net and tray are set under the draining spout. Then the lid is taken off and a sieve is placed over the drain to stop curds from flowing out. An outlet is opened and the whey pours out. It goes into a constructed wetland for filtration. The net catches curds slipping through. The curds have started cheddaring or sticking together. When piled up, they continue releasing whey. This sits for 1 hour. Next, they are sliced into sizes for the curd mill. After assembly, inserting a slice and pulling back a lever, the curds fall out. These are spread out so as not to cheddar further. Certified organic sea salt from Spain is added to the curds. This gets stirred in before the curds are finally scooped into 150-gram bags for sale and 350-gram bags for restaurants. The sealer heats the ends shut. Labels are added before bags are left to sit out overnight to avoid cheddaring. These can be eaten right away. Their shelf life is 6 weeks.